Emerald Fennell has been in the entertainment industry for over 15 years and has been successful from the start. Her first role was in 2006 in the TV series Trials and Tribulations. She has since appeared in shows like Any Human Heart, Blandings, Chickens, Call the Midwife, and The Crown, and in films like Pan, The Danish Girl, and Vita and Virginia. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Emerald Fennell. She grew up in a well-off creative family. Born on October 1, 1985, Emerald Fennell was raised in London by a wealthy jewelry designer father and an author mother. This gave her two important things for success: money and a creative environment. Fennell talked to the Wall Street Journal magazine and said she knows she was lucky to grow up this way. She said having parents in London who could support her was part of her luck. But she also mentioned that this luck made her feel like she had to work even harder. She wanted to show that she deserved the head start she got in life. Besides the advantages of wealth and creativity, she also benefited from her parents' relaxed way of raising her. For example, when she wanted a belly button piercing, her mom joked about getting one too. She told The Times, "My parents have always been much cooler than my sister and me." She started acting at school to get out of gym class. Emerald Fennell started acting when she was in school, using it as a way to get out of gym class. She told Holland Park Education, "I found out that you could skive off games if you wrote for the school magazine or had play rehearsals. I had 2 lines playing Tavern Wench 2 and Tess of the D'Urbervilles and never looked back." She also said that acting is something she feels is in her nature. She described herself to the British Comedy Guide as an enthusiastic child who loved to perform and put on plays. She then went to the University of Oxford, and it was there that an acting agent discovered her. She made a name for herself in Call the Midwife. In 2013, Emerald Fennell got a major role in the BBC drama Call the Midwife, playing Patsy Mount, a red-haired, straightforward nurse. This part was a big step in her career, even though she already had some good acting roles before. She shared with Radio Times that working on Call the Midwife taught her a lot. She said, "I learned so much about how sets work and about almost every facet of filmmaking just from getting to be there every day." She used reading and writing to cope with insomnia as a child. Emerald Fennell had a lot of trouble sleeping when she was young. She told the Wall Street Journal magazine that she suffered from bad insomnia and found comfort in reading. Instead of sleeping, she would read books and then start writing her own stories. She also shared with Empire magazine that her imagination often took a dark turn during her sleepless nights. She would think about scary things, like someone breaking into her house and taking her sister, or her getting hurt and no one being able to find her. These frightening thoughts were troubling, but they also fueled her creativity. She told The Times that these anxious and dark nights helped make her a better writer. She has published several books. Besides acting, Emerald Fennell is also great at writing. In 2013, she published her first book called Shiverton Hall. It's a children's book about a boy at a spooky boarding school. The book did well, and she released a sequel the next year. In 2015, she published her first novel for adults, Monsters. This book was also creepy, and it became a big hit. She wrote the 2nd season of Killing Eve. Emerald Fennell is good friends with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the creator and star of Fleabag. They met while working on the 2011 film Albert Nobbs. When Waller-Bridge left her role as the head writer of Killing Eve, she recommended Fennell to take over for the show's 2nd season. Fennell brought her own style to Killing Eve, mixing humor and horror. Ultimately, it looks like Waller-Bridge's decision to pass the baton paid off because Season 2 was an even bigger hit than its predecessor, drawing in 3.7 million viewers when it premiered. She made her directorial debut with Promising Young Woman. In 2020, Emerald Fennell expanded her already impressive resume to include the title of director. Her first film, Promising Young Woman, is about a woman taking revenge on predatory men. She wanted to show revenge from a woman's point of view, which is different from what we usually see in movies. The film brought the total Oscar nominations to 5: Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture for Fennell, Best Actress for the film's lead actress, Carey Mulligan, and Best Film Editing for the film editor, Frederick Thoreval. She was 7 months pregnant while directing. Emerald Fennell told Deadline that writing the script for Promising Young Woman was a tough process, like coughing up a hairball. She was also 7 months pregnant during the 23-day film shoot in Los Angeles in 2019. Just 3 weeks after the shoot ended, she gave birth to her first child. Then, only a few weeks later, she was back working in the editing room. She mentioned to Variety that making the film was hard, but worth it, because it's not every day you get to make a movie. She wrote a musical with Andrew Lloyd Webber. After releasing her first film, Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell quickly moved on to her next project, co-writing a new musical version of Cinderella with the famous Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. She saw this project as another chance to write a story with a female lead. She shared with LW Theaters her approach to the story. Rather than saying we're going to set it in modern times, we're going to make it the most Cinderella Cinderella in the world, push it to its very extremes, and then put real characters in that world. She stopped drinking when she was 22. Emerald Fennell, surprisingly, chose to stop drinking alcohol when she was 22 years old. She didn't explain the exact reason for this decision. However, her 2021 film Promising Young Woman addresses the issue of drinking culture and its connection to sexual assault. In the film, a drunk girl is often seen as an object of desire. She said, "I still think that as a culture, we have this idea of asking for it. I had a very difficult conversation with a male journalist who said some people would argue that women make themselves vulnerable by getting drunk. It seems like she had some personal experiences with this troubling aspect of drinking culture before she decided to quit alcohol."